Sorry guys, sorry guys. Thanks for reporting it. Should have known. Oh, we're back. I have been talking quite a lot for you guys. So that wall is taking a toll now. Yeah, sorry about the audio. There's a little bit of a thing with this streaming device that not all of the settings what you have in the previous stream that you copy paste the settings, or they copy incorrectly. But hey, we're back. We're back. Ay ay ay. It's gonna be long evening if it continues like this. Bit of a leveling action here for my video head here. So anyway, hopefully during the evening practice I remember to fix the audio first. That was Ferropolis and Toni Ojatalo. Here we are, trying to survive. And then it's going to be Toni Ojatalo in the lead, and in the next tandem it will be Igor Derenko and Pauli Laakso. Toni Ojatalo, one of the Finnish wildcards, and Ferropolis from Austria. And in the next one it is, as I said, Igor Derenko. He will be the chase driver, and Pauli Laakso will be the lead driver. See some struggle in the internet there once again, but let's see. say that was a super careful run from Pauli. It all barely smoking the tires. Oopsie. Maybe I need to adjust my video head a little bit because it wants to tilt forward. Oh, anyway. We will separation for the chase run with Igor Derenko. Okay, start marshals ready. Drivers are ready. I think I'm ready. In Drift Masters maybe a little bit tricky that if you're a wild card you in practice with like the top drivers, so you could really kind of see from the very first practice session like how the top drivers drive. These two were Dylan Garvey in that purple S13 and Renko from Trinity Drift team in the same team as the Shanahan brothers. D4 Ireland versus Ukraine. Okay. And what would have happened there? Reinitiation. Mr. Shurenko in a very shallow angle. I don't know, but maybe a little bit too fast because he veers to the slippery surface and hits the rear. Taps it lightly. Well, the wheel seems to be gone. So, not that lightly. Need to do something for my camera here now. Maybe like that. A little bit of a. Yes. It's going to be another one for them, and in the waiting line will be Enver Haskasap and Tanupat Alert. We will, as you can as you can clearly see. Maybe now. Maybe now. If you are wondering these really special camera checks here, the reason is that I try to, you know, go there and reach and go to check on the lineup and everything. I need to go a little bit away from the camera, so I am not holding it with my hand, so that might cause a little bit of a wonky situations. Sorry about that. There was a comment about me obstructing the Starlink, but that is pointed into a direction where it only looks like that in the picture. But I can try to put that Starlink farther away a little bit in a while. So let's see, I'm constantly monitoring the frame drops, which means that the link is stable or unstable, but I need to check. Once I have just a minute to do that. Soiling. I will now try to do the thing. Just a second. Let's see how possibly sensitive the Starlink is. Hopefully it works. So we have one of the more exotic cars in this one, Opel GT from Keski-Korpi. And one of the best liveries from Kemal Soilin. And that will be Poland versus Turkey. And Turkey in the lead now, Kemal Soilin in that Super Kemal livery car. I think that's a super bold choice. Gap here between the drivers, but they have done their first runs here. We'll see now. Does the link look any better? Is the lagging any better? It seems that it's either or. When the remote cameras are working, then the link is bad. That was Andriy Pedrichevich in lead and Max Heydrich in chase. It seems that Max did take it directly to the paddock. Yes, Andriy will continue for a solo run here. His car is full of smoke. Seems that there is a way in for the smoke in his car, but no way out. And there you have it. Andriy Pedrichevich. Igor giving a little bit of a lift to those age-old push rods there. This is a push rod engine. The RTR engine is running. Oh, anyway. You can smell the nitros. You can smell the different race fuel they're using. And here we go. That bumper didn't like it. Oh, there was a GoPro. I thought that was one of those mirrors that you use when you're hooked up with the wider trailer, or like a camper. Okay, funny business. It's funny business. Then we have two Finnish guys there. It will be Toni Ojatalo, Paulus Perkkiö. I see some sort of an action. The first corner. Let's see that again. I think it was just Paulus' difficulty to have it sliding with Toni. So. Give them another shot. That is Artur Havrilenko and Dylan Garvey. Yes, Artur, you have another run to go. Okay, we have had some frame drops there. Something that is nice is my drinking water is rather already starting to be the temperature of it less than the body temperature, so Turkish Enverhaskasap. Relatively surprised of Ye's driving. Okay, I didn't know anything about his driving so far, so at least has his relevance to be here, in my opinion. Fortunately, his rear light didn't want to hang on anymore. So he will have a maybe, you know, get it back later. Okay. What happened there? And okay, power locks, it just doesn't go outside anymore. Well, what is wrong with this camera? Nothing now? Okay, maybe it was just temporary. Okay, let's try one more thing with the Starlink. A little bit more radical change to angle of it, and Keeping my eye on those frame drops or lags or whatever I can find here. I think it might be better now. And here is Dominic Kur following him in a distance. In let's say decided distance. I see some sudden drops to like 14 or 15, so that might be issues, but I don't know. It's that was Toni Ojatalo and Andri Pericevic. Toni Ojatalo seemingly going back to the paddock. Andri continuing to his second run, which will be a solo run. Track to be cleaned up a little bit. let's try to do one thing with the link is really not that nice. Probably need to do some sort of other is that I basically did not touch to its place. I just switch it off, switch it back on. Between these practice sessions it was just in exactly same place, and now we're facing these issues that we didn't face before. So bear with me, I'm trying things. I hope some of those things will work. After next run, it's going to be a little bit of a angle adjustment exercise. You can see that it's not very good right now. Frames per second or something. Gonna do that, just the adjustment. I will give you a replay. And it doesn't help. Okay, here we go. Next one is Paulus Perkkiö, Havrilenko. Matti Paulus Perkkiö seems to go directly towards the paddock. I'm not sure what happened there. And then we have seemingly a solo run from Adri Petricevic. Sorry about the miserable camera operation. Every now and then I'm just trying to somehow babysit the frame rates here. And the internet connection at the same time, which seems to be struggling all the time. I don't know, it might be that I'll just, throw that Starlink away and do it with 4G instead as before. Next one, it's gonna be Tanupat. Seems to be quite a handful. The car of that Thai Tanupat Lertsavuet really seems to be a handful. Okay, we will have now a 10 minutes break. Can I do something about the internet connection thing here? I need to to imagine, like, what should I do, because then there at the, if I take it any more back, then there's this huge excavator there. Quite pretty much like away from it to like southwards kind of the thing to do with the thing. Let's see. So do we have some comments? There's a comment that put the camera center link up in the crane. Yeah, I would have really loved to do that, but unfortunately, I mean, from the organizer, but be maybe a little bit difficult one to pull off. So, but there's 3,000 kilo or 3 kilometers per. What 3,000 kilometers per stream? Try that. We are already at 2,500. So of course that would, you know, if we push it really low, but I cannot change it while this is on the stream. What I can do is to change to 4G, but let's see. I have now once again turned the orientation of the Starlink antenna, push this more forward, and basically there is no signal obstruction to the sky, but it's just not doing its job. Maybe rebooting it would be worthwhile. I could then prop into 4G meanwhile and then get back. I mean, that 4G probably will be faster anyway. I'll do that. Shouldn't break the stream anyway. What isn't there what a good old reboot couldn't fix? We are now in 4G. I think we're probably more stable. The sweeper guy is getting some applause here from the audience. I think it just jumped in speed and everything, so this is the only thing I can now film and try the internet connection. So it's a question if it's windy here. Yes, it is a little bit of a wind from there, from the lake. I think I'm gonna just the 4G. It doesn't give any dropouts right now. I'll stick to that for a while, at least for this practice. Yes, okay. It actually just jumped back to the Starlink, and it's already worse bit stream. Okay, we'll do that. That's the solution for this one. Anybody interested in buying a little bit used Starlink? We'll see. Now everybody remember, we have dropped in this stream only 11,348 frames. 11,348. So if that number doesn't increase, then we know that this 4G is now better for this situation. I think the Starlink was pretty okay, for example, in Finland and in Riga. I don't think I had any complaints, and it was not even that good place for it there. But maybe they just don't have any satellites on top of Germany, so who knows? Or enough satellites. But if the 4G works, then it is just fine. I need to moderate my water consumption because I still have maybe 1.5 deciliters to go. Oh, but it's only 2 hours, so it should be fine. And for the Group B, we have starting it are Cuba Kroll and Diogo Correa. And the lineup here is always from the burnout box to the paddock. It's not very long, and drivers tend to bring the cars early enough there. It's actually mostly their mechanics who would do that, but that's how it is. So everybody, before we go to the first ones of Group B, please hit that like button so we will raise the awareness of this stream towards all the other people there who like drifting. So more the merrier, and of course I like more views and more viewers because it will increase their revenue, obviously. But hey, here we go. $11,348. Still the same number, so it looks good now. Okay, and we got some confirmation that it's not lagging. I mean, hey, guys, I'm trying my best, and it's so super annoying when I hear that it's lagging and it's you know, dropping frames, whatever. It's like the most frustrating feeling of them all. But yes, it's of course good that you report it back to me, because otherwise, like, I cannot keep my eyes all the time in that data stream quality numbers, because I need to drive the camera here. So yes, it's gonna be now Diogo Correa, Cuba Kroll. box we have Karimani and Jarkko Kylhä. Jarkko Kylhä in the need of a little bit of cooling. Karimani's car is full of smoke. I haven't had a single drop in frames now. God thank 4G. And Mr. Musk, could you improve your satellite coverage a bit, please? Have them still in the start line. There's a cooling happening with Jarkko Kylhä. I think they're bringing more leaf blowers there to move the air or not. Karimani is entering the start line as we speak. Jarkko Kylhä's hood has been put down so it looks better. Difficult to say is it go or no go. There's no visible smoke or steam or anything coming from the car, but I believe it's the engine management unit that cuts the running down because of overheating or something. That's how they usually are built and how they work in the practice conditions. Then we have already, let's talk about who is waiting in the line next. There's Marko Zakoril. We already see some Czech flags here and Marko fans in the grandstands, which is nice. We have Teemu Asuma, Juha Pöytälaakso, Itai Sade at least, and Simon Olsen coming, George Christopherow. Basically, you know who are in this group, but at least those are the ones who are kind of about to come. There's some sort of a checking going on the track at the same time. Okay, now we have a tow truck there, so Jarkko Kylhä unfortunately is out of the car and needs to get the car towed or put onto a flatbed truck. And unfortunate. Oh, we see also some oil or some sort of a spill there. Oh, that's sub-ideal. So that was the check on the track. Then they were checking if there's any leaking. I think it looks that it's most likely water. So I would say it is a heat-induced issue, but who am I to tell? I think it should be water, because clearly it was a heat issue. Jarkko didn't get right away out of his car. It was just signaling the marshals to open the hood and so on and so forth. So it must have been just like a overheating signal. Of course, then like what is the stuff on the truck? It can be oil, it can be, I don't know. Let's see what we can hear from Jarkko. Probably somebody can report it here when that's in social media. Still 0 drops in frames. Now that we have this brake, maybe you can go and press that like button, and I can give you in return this little bit nicer view of the track than that inflatable oil can. That was a surprise start. Group B, we haven't had too many runs yet because of this. Okay, we see that this is, you know, past the finish line, but they're still cleaning the whatever liquid that is that came out of Jarkko's car. There's not that many choices there. Of course, you know, if it was just water, because the cooling water is just water. I don't know if they were putting in that absorbent there, because it would just evaporate so quickly from there. So it must be then oil. Is it from the engine? Is it from the power steering? Then that's another question, or gearbox or differential, I don't know. Somewhere in the front, because there is the biggest puddle where the car's front was, so you can do this work of Sherlock Holmes here. Well, then a little bit of my water. Yes. So, still Marshall's working on that spill. This is like right on the driveway from the lineup to the burnout box, and I guess they don't want to have drivers with the... Okay. Now it's gonna be Marko Sakori, Teemu Asunmaa. They are headed to the burnout box, and maybe in half a minute we will have them in the start line. Yes, this is a Group B. The brake that we are having is because of Jarkko Juha's car started to leak something. they needed to clean it, and now we have it. Okay, that was quite a bit of a try and effort in there. Let's see what happened. So far so good, so far so good. And Marco getting all the applause already from his fans. I don't know if there's any other fans yet on site, but that's also, you know, it was not the first time when somebody hits that wall there. And Marco has continued his way to the paddock. So most likely it will be a solo run for Teemu Asunmaa. Back to the paddock. Then we have Juha Pöytälaakso and Itai Sade. And here we go. Juha Pöytälaakso, Itai Sade. Then they will switch turns and have it the other way around. It will be Itai Sade in the lead and Juha Pöytälaakso in the chase. Next, George Christopher and Simon Olsen. Simon Olsen in the lead. Then it will be George Christopher's lead and Simon Olsen's chase. Here they go. Next it's gonna be all Irish, all rookie lineup as it is Alan Hines and Harry Kerr. We have that on replay what happened in the first corner. It's the first or second corner. I don't know if this is considered a corner really. But was there even a touch? No, I think Alan Hines was just too deep, managed to save it and not to crash into that wall there. That was a solo run from Harry Kerr. Now we have Jean Bonnet in the chase and Clint van Oort in the lead. Should we? Yes. Let's see how quickly we will get Clint back on the line, but I think it's maybe a little bit more of a hassle from Joshan Bane, if anybody. There's already some fans. And David Sposok. And still not a single frame drop. If you are asking if Adri did already drive, yes, he did in Group A. There's also still one short practice session left today evening, so you can see Adri there, if he just everything okay with the car, so. David Sposok having some sort of issue there, driving it back to the paddock. Yves Meyer continuing on a solo run here. Let's see how the Toyota GR Yaris performs here in Germany. Short. Okay, then it's Dave Egan and Diogo Correa. Yes. Okay, do we have a cooling problem with the Diogo Correa's car? No, it is just a squirt of water on top of the intercooler and radiator, and then they are good to go. So there is a little bit over 20 minutes left of this session. I mean this group B. Then it will be obviously group C. The next one is gonna be Karim Hani in the chase and Jakub Kubakroll in the lead. And we still have no frame drops, so I think we found the issue with the stream and it's now much better. Trunk lid action there, just a tad, not bad. Then it will be the same story the other way around. Now they've removed the trunk lid from Kubakroll's car and ready to go. Something to get another cooling related thing or not. And Teemu Asunmaa next. is still, I would say, rather pleasant, and it's clearing the smoke pretty well between the runs. So that is also one reason why these guys can take these back to back, like almost 2 lead runs together. If it was not windy, the smoke would just stick there and it would not clear, and that would be dangerous actually. What did happen there? And do I have it in replay? I hope so. Oh, there was a touch, and luckily he just stopped it. And fans give him big hand to Espen Rode. Must be mostly Marko Zakoril fans. That is the real spirit. Then it's going to be Juha Pöytälaakso and Itai Sade. Okay. Espen Rode's bumper was being hauled back from the track, but now it should be almost cleared. Okay, now it's cleared. Good driving. That wind here is really super nice to keep everything a little bit cooler, but I can just feel that the wind helps also my mouth dry a lot. So hopefully that remaining water that I have is enough until the very end. If not, then probably read it from the newspaper tomorrow, or probably not. Next we have Harry Kerr and Simon Olsen once more, at least. Both of them have been on the track. I don't think they did any runs together yet, but they're here. Any second now? Or is Harry having some issues, or? Start line marshal goes to him. They have a word. Okay, they're opening the hood there. I don't know what was the issue. Even the windshield wipers were on for a second, so. And start line marshal's fingers were in between the wipers and the hood. Okay, something happened to Harry Kerr there. Able to continue drifting, so at least it wasn't anything too bad mechanically. Then Harry Kerr in the lead, Simon Olsen in the chase. Of course, here it is sometimes better to abort your run in practice if it's like, you know, for the smoke you don't see something, you don't want to risk it and crash it. So then it will be George Christopher and Clint van Oort. Also pretty heavy dragging of a real rear bumper on that horseshoe there, but when I looked at Clint's bumper, it's like nothing. So let's go the other way around. George Christopher in the lead in that BMW 1M. Okay, no. He will return to the paddock. Clint is then most likely going to have a qualification simulation by himself. Machine. And let's take another look at that one, just because I have it for some reason. It was the rear spoiler there which was playing tricks on me. I think Clint was actually driving wide quite nicely there. The line was good. There were that was Marco Zacorel, Diogo Correa. They will then have it the other way around. So it will be Diogo Correa in the lead. That was yet another check on his car and a little bit of a leaf blower action there. Nothing dramatic, I think. We still have 6 minutes left of this session. We have Jarkko Jylhä back, which is really promising, and especially for all the Finns. Still seeing a little bit of that absorbent after him from the last try, but it seems to be okay now. This will be Yves Meyer and Jarkko Jylhä. I think after 5 minutes, when this group is over, I will maybe go and refill my bottle with the cold water for the next one, just for the sake of comfort. Jarkko Jylhä, Yves Meyer. It seems that Jarkko is fine with just a little bit of a square of water over the intercooler there. Some quick lowering of the intake temperature. And then Yves Meyer, he's fine as well. And after some seconds we are go. Yves Meyer in the lead, Jarkko Jylhä in the chase. So Dave Egan and Karim Hani in this one, in the next one. Okay, they're gonna have like back-to-back lead runs there, or back-to-back qualification simulations. So we're not gonna see a tandem run here. So, maybe some comments. Why are ads so frequent in this stream? It is paying for the cost. That's why. Unfortunately. Hey, through the comments, Mark Lydon, hey, thank you for the 20 euros. Absolutely insane. Here we go. I guess it's not yet too late to hit that like button, and we try to get more people on board. Now it'll be my trip to refill my water bottle, so this stream will stay put, but it is a short 10-minute break before the Group C. So stay tuned, I'll be back in 5-ish minutes. And here we are. The next thing is that is in question is whether my wireless microphones will cope one more of these groups. It's going to be Group C, which is maybe best referred as the hot group, or anyway the group where all the currently best positioned drivers in the standings are. So expect the top 10 and a little bit more. And these temperatures, even lukewarm water tastes pretty well when you haven't had it for a while. Okay. So we will have Lauri Heinonen, James Dean, Connor Shanahan, Pavel Korpulinski, Mika Keski-Korpi, Kuba Brzkonski, Juha Rintanen, among the others. So it will be 15, 16, 17 of the best. And I think we all are waiting for this. One of the quick questions is once again, do we have Lauri Heinonen in the game? This time it has not been an engine issues he has had. There was a quite hard hit into the wall on that. Is it now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, clip 6 here? It didn't show, it didn't look to be like too bad, but they had the whole back of the car quite bad. Some ruptures in the strut towers and whatnot. So if they have it today in this session, they have had a long afternoon fixing it. Oh, we have Mr. Niko Pesonen here. I need to say hello to him. Do you want to say a quick hello to my viewers?
Hello, and nice to be here.
Okay, so
how many cameras here today?
4.
How many watchers is in
It's
the
been like, 1,500.
Nice.
It's good for like being in the middle of the day on Thursday. So
Yeah. There is a little bit warm here.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But hey, it's gonna be Group C now, and we will talk later.
Yeah.
That was Niko Pesonen, organizer of Chicago Drift. This is actually the first time we ever met was here in Ferropolis, or it was actually in the airport flying to here. And I was there just telling Niko that, hey, we need to talk in Ferropolis, and all of that ended up being in me doing stuff in Chicago Drift officially, and also it has led to me having Jane in the show starting from tomorrow, noon-ish. He will arrive here and she will arrive here, and hopefully we can produce some fun stuff for you guys in my Instagram, RollingRudy_media. So, Group C, we have a similar start as we did last time. It's gonna be Mika Keski-Korpi in the first pairing here, and also Kuba Brzkonski. I will be ready to take them any second. Bad at all, I would say. Not bad. Then it's gonna be Kuba Brzkonski in the lead and Mika Keski-Korpi the chase. And then the next ones who are waiting is Mika Keski-Korpi and no. Now I'm all mixed up. Juha Rintanen and so Juha Rintanen, Pavel Korpulinski. Mika Keski-Korpi has a brother whose name is Juha as well, so that's why the struggle. This group is gonna go until 10 to 6, so we are just in the beginning of this hot group now, and yeah. Then when this practice session is over, there's also still one hour session left in the evening, starting at 9 o'clock in the local time zone. Rintanen took his lead here. Now it's gonna be him in the chase turn, and Pavel Korpulinski is gonna lead. They do their very, very beautiful choreography while switching the cars around and turning them around. Wish you could see that as well. But here they are in the starting line. And here we go. And Piotr, and it will be Piotr in the lead for this first one. That I have a little bit of a water left, I will hydrate myself. really going on fumes, but let's see if we lose the audio. I can actually maybe do the part of a trick now. So I think this receiver should be okay for on the fly charging. Yes, it is. I'll have one run and then I will switch over to another transmitter. So it should be a smooth change. Hope so. And then we have Oliver Randalu and Nasser Al-Harbali. Why am I all of a sudden having issues with my microphones? That is because I'm using my spare ones. I'm using my spare ones because I already gave my primary ones to Jay. To be so that Jane might need those earlier than we made, so she has those like the ones that are designed, or where I have like the microphone handle that is designed for those microphones. So, but I bet you didn't notice anything while I was changing my microphone unit here to another one and charging the receiver, and it's only half an hour, a little bit over half an hour left of this test. This was Nicholas Bertans and Duane McKeever. Duane suffering clearly of some sort of issues there in his run. I think we are in the broadcasting station. We are stabilized after the microphone change. we see that in these pictures the smoke and the direction of the sun starts to be a little bit of a tricky one now, but luckily it will always clear away before the next pair. So it's Connor Falvey. Next he had a massive hit into the rear of his car, and the last one didn't see that many runs from him, but now he's back, and he's back with Kevin Pesur. Start line marshals are actually, for a reason, checking the rear of Connor Falvey's car. And I can tell you the good news that in the next one it's gonna be Lauri Heinonen as well. So Lauri Heinonen is back, and he will be having runs with Connor Shanahan, so it's going to be some nice driving. I mean, all of it is really nice driving here, so old rivals, of course, good to see them drive, and being rivals means not being enemies. And here we go, Connor Falvey. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is Lauri Heinonen and Connor Shanahan still in the burnout box. Now all gears open. Not that many races left to hear that beast of a NASCAR engine SX 180 in Drift Masters. One of the cameras is starting to give some symptoms. This one. Naughty, naughty, don't do that. That's prohibited. So, Lauri Heinonen now in the lead, Connor Shanahan after him in the chase, and here we go. Juha Rintanen, Mika Keski-Korpi. Mika Keski-Korpi in the lead. That looked like a run where lead is giving a very good lead for an easy or good chase. I wouldn't say anything is easy in this sport, but good lead, good chase requires good lead, as we always, and especially as always, our judges say and state. Here we go. So, it's now a Polish duo, Kuba Brzgonski and Piotr Wiesny. Then it will be James Dean and Kevin Keski-Korpi on the next one. Kevin Keski-Korpi in the lead, James Dean in the chase. So now it's James Dean's turn to take the lead. Kevin Keski-Korpi goes to chase position, and we will see should there be any separation or speed difference this way. It's Oliver Randalu and Pavel Korpulinski. Pavel taking the lead at first. Stream, we are actually past 2,000 viewers mark at this very moment, I think. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's not too late to hit the like button, and remember to do that also in the today's late night practice. Next, it will be Nicolas Bertans and Dwayne McKeever and Nick now in that HGK BMW, and expect to see something high speed action. Then it will be Dwayne McKeever's lead and chase for Nicolas Bertans. We're about to go, thumbs up. Niknak Bertans. Next one is Nasser Al-Harbali and Benediktas Chirba. That van most likely that came through the lineup is not participating. Hope so. What happened there? Interesting stop of drifting. Oh, there was a little bit of a rub from Benediktas, so that's the reason. And the winner is they're both winners, I think. Looks okay. Lauri Heinonen in this run, and then it's gonna be Mika Keski-Korpi and Kevin Pesur, and then it's gonna be Lauri Heinonen and Connor Shanahan again. Will be Kevin Pesur in the lead and Mika Keski-Korpi in the chase. That hair dryer looking air blower is having an infernal noise. So small thing, but so annoying. Next, Mika Keski-Korpi in the lead, Kevin Pesur in the chase. And then we have once more Lauri Heinonen with Connor Shanahan. So Lauri Heinonen, he will take the chase first, and Connor Shanahan naturally will take the lead. Let's hope for a good clean practice runs with nice tandem proximity, and why wouldn't these guys give it to us? They love driving, they love drifting, so something in the truck, or what are we waiting for? Okay, it's first gear for both of the guys, and Lauri Heinonen, he's in the wall, head first. I think he's okay. Opens the door. They didn't need this. They didn't need this. What did happen? Everything all fine. No contact in transition, nothing. Oh my god. I really hope that the engine didn't fail. I mean, of course, that crash is not ideal. It's getting close as well. Ay, 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 ay. But what caused him to stop drifting? Like, let's look at this again, guys. Because there was no contact, nothing before. And then it just like, it looked like to me like the car died or something. Like, okay. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Okay, Lauri has been put into ambulance, so obviously he's okay. Could walk out of the. Okay, he hurt his wrist too. Could be. Or shoulder. He has had problems with the wrist and shoulders, but his shoulder I know for sure. Ay, ay, ay. This is not what we want to say. I believe we all agree on that, regardless of nationality or. So, from a yellow car to the yellow car. Or van. Well, I will just lock this one on the recovery operation here, which is, I would say, been pretty okay for this weekend. Oh man. Maybe it is just, more cosmetically looks worse than how it really is, but then what caused it? I mean, ay, ay, ay. I must say they have pretty sturdy concretes here, because I don't think, despite of all of these crashes, we haven't seen those move, or they didn't need to be moved back into the place. Maybe, I mean, they're just checking on that one right now, but I didn't see it move. What a bummer. Yeah, no fluids out of the car. Ay, ay, ay. Check and even fishbowl tip. It's funny how the other's car is so low in the front, or the bumper is so low that whenever he even like turns the wheels to scrape the rubber out of them, the front lip is actually touching the ground and making a little bit of a scratchy noise. Okay, show must go on. we will have at least the following drivers, Oliver Randalu and Johan McKeever, which is the following pair here. Oliver Randalu in the lead and Johan McKeever at the chase. Then it's James Dean, Pavel Korpulinski, Connor Crowley and Nicholas Burton. I think that was too much smoke for Johan McKeever on the last one, the last clip. So this is like doing these back-to-back lead runs, kind of the downside of it, or back-to-back qualification runs. Aye. Not again. That was a quite hard hit. Luckily he got it. I assume yes. Didn't crash it afterwards. And when he's out of the car, he's okay. The car must not be okay. No, it has a 4-wheel steering now, or 3-wheel steering to be exact. Aye. We are having a really scrappy end to this session. I wouldn't wonder if they just signaled all the remaining cars to pass and get back to the paddock, because the time is out. It's only 2 minutes left of this session and it will take more than 2 minutes to clear the situation here, but let's see. I will keep you informed. I will also need to gather some of the batteries of the cameras and transmitters to put those in the charger. We still have one practice session in the evening, the night practice that starts 9 o'clock local time, 10 o'clock finish time. In that time zone, yes, it seems that all the cars are being sent through the track towards the paddock. So this is what we have for today's daytime practice. Johan McKeever is okay, and I will start to take my camera batteries down, get myself into the paddock, put the batteries in the charger, maybe have a little bit of a rest somewhere somehow. It is 3 hours from now, so there is a little bit of a break here for me. But hey, thank you to all of you who are watching. It means a lot to me, and also that you are watching. It means that there is some revenue being generated from those ads which are there. I know those are super annoying, but that all is making this happen and making this possible. So that is how all of this works. Of course, you know, I try to get at least the cost from this, and even though this is super nice to do, it's still work. A lot of work to cover this entire weekend. So that's it. I will now go, and we'll see you 9 o'clock Central European time from here, from Ferropolis. See you then.